and welcome to The Thick of It, a Best of BFM special. I'm your host, Sonia. Best of BFM is a festival that celebrates students' projects from the Baltic Film, Media and Arts School and Tallinn University from the past year. For 2 weeks at our very own Supernova Cinema, we show the projects which were made within the frames of the various BFM programs. The festival wraps up with a gala, where the best of the best in each nomination get to bring home an award. Right here at our show, we will be meeting the young students from different programs who have already screened their works, and we'll be getting into the thick of it, hearing all about their project, the creative process, and also about their very own personal experiences on set and within their BFM curriculum. Today, I'll be speaking to Katerina and Pranav about their project Dead Dreaming, but right before that, let us watch a short clip from it.
Я не могу противостоять, потому что и сама сомневаюсь в себе. Утешение мне помогает найти музыка и daydreaming. В моих грезах черный цвет обладает особым значением. Он таит в себе тайны.
Once again, welcome to the studio, or a forest, I could say. And today I'm lucky to be speaking with Katerina and Pranav about their project Dead Dreaming. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Welcome to the studio. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting.
So Dead Dreaming is a film made in the frames of the documentary masters here at Tallinn University. And it deals with topics of daydreaming, and it's kind of like self-reflection of oneself and your own personal kind of journey with it, and or even the ongoing war in Ukraine. But rather than me presenting it, I want to ask you guys, what is Dead Dreaming to you? How did it come to life? And yeah, what story does it tell?
Okay, thank you for your questions, and I can start. So first of all, I think I should say that where does the idea about personal project comes from? We had a third semester topic of personal documentary for all students, and that was one of the push to make for me film, like personal film about daydreaming. And daydreaming is something that I'm experiencing for years from teenage. It was not something new for me, and I knew that someday I want to make a film about that. So it was perfect chance for me to try it and make first steps about making more bigger film about that. So it was my first step. And I asked Pranav to help with it. He was not part of brainstorming idea or anything. I knew what I want to show. I knew what story comes and how war influences my experience. So it was clear for me what I want to express.
And as this film deals with your very own personal journey, as you mentioned, how was it working together? So how were you communicating your idea to Pranav, and how was it for you also to kind of try to grasp the ideas and show them through the various artistic approaches that there are through the film?
It was easy communicate since we are a couple for like almost 2 years, and he knew about that way before that idea for project came to my mind. We talked about daydreaming. I shared with him my experiences, so he knew that before. I didn't have to explain him. I didn't have to kind of put effort to communicate. But there were challenges about how to make it real, these visions that I have. I didn't know what kind of effects to try, and I had problems with that. I was searching like a stupid in Vimeo ideas, watching hundreds of videos, and I was not able to find anything. And then I just met Kino Ice, a student, and he said me, just use Pinterest. Why do you have to watch all these hundreds of videos? Just use Pinterest and show him what you want. Yeah, you can also continue on that topic, how it was for you.
Yeah, I think I have to say I came quite late in the process, after she was very clear of what she wanted, and I think my job was pretty clear that I just had to bring her visions to life. I was the cinematographer in the project, so my work was to just give visual form to her images. And it was not very difficult, I would say, because she had a very clear idea. She knew like what she wanted, what type of shot, from which angle, this and that. And since everything was reenacted in this film, it was in a controlled environment, although it was inside the framework of a documentary. So in that sense, it was easy for me to experiment and then try to bring her visions to a visual form.
I quite like the way it was filmed, and like another question I kind of have regarding specifically your artistic decisions is you kind of have the two sets. So you have the room in the film, you also have the dark hall. So how, is it something that you always had in mind? Did it always involve choreography? How was the choreography made as well?
Okay, about choreography I can explain immediately, since not just in film but daydreaming itself always involved for me listening to music and fantasizing something. So music was a very important part of that. That's how music became also in the film, and choreography also, because during, like in real life, during daydreaming, listening to music, I was also dancing at the same time. That's how choreography came, and it was not choreography, it was improvisation everywhere. I didn't plan what exactly, with what track to dance, what move to make. It was improvisation. I tried to recreate how it was in real. And in Black Box, improvisation, like I tried to recreate that image of myself that I used to imagine before. Of course, it's not the same, but more or less I tried to share that power that I used to feel. And choreography was the best tool for me for that. I didn't know how else I could express that. And these two environments, they were key places for me, like real place where I get my headphones, start to listen to music and dance, and what is in my head happening. So that's all that I needed to show.
I would like to expand a little more on your communication and teamwork, but before that, let us watch another short clip from the film.
Иллюзии не могут заменить реальность. Я все больше погружаюсь в мир фантазий и перестаю этого замечать.
So we're back in the studio, and now I kind of want to expand a little more on your personal experiences and your teamwork when working on Daydreaming. So what were kind of maybe the difficulties for the two of you? Because up till now we talked about how everything was sort of smooth and you had the idea in your head. What were the things that, you struggled a little more with?
I think filming process itself was very hard. We used to shoot till very late night, and Pranav was the one who would take everything on his shoulders and push me to do that. I would be like complaining, please let's sleep. But he was the one who would tell me, no, do it, it's your dream project. You can tell about this more.
About challenges, I think, I mean, maybe we underestimated how like time span of this project. Because it was controlled environment, we thought it will be done in no time, but it was quite hectic in that we had to do it again and again. And although here it's just the two of us, we have to say that there are a lot more people involved, like the composer, and also we have an editor separately working. And so in terms of the difficulties, we have to say we went back and forth again and again in the process, like we shot, edited, there was some errors, music didn't work, come back. So I think the challenge was this reiterating the process, coming back, and we had this flexibility, so we were lucky. But I think we had to come back, do it again, do it, and come back. Like that was, I think, something that we faced.
And I'll bite that. So the fact that you had like some time to come back to it a few times after you kind of have done your first editing, your first draft, were there things that you wanted to change, or were there things that you actually changed, and are there still things that you're kind of looking into?
I think one of the things that was changed during filming process, it was room where the film was shot. At first we tried in my room where I live in Tallinn. Next we switched to his room. So we were like searching for the best place because it was quite challenging to find a room for that. All our rooms are quite small, but his was the biggest one. And regarding changes that are still going on, it's language. At first, for exam, I made it in English. I got a lot of comments about that my pronunciation is so bad. It's hard to focus and feel empathy to the character because of English pronunciation. And I didn't change my mind after that comments, but when I went back to Ukraine and made my thesis films there, I decided why I shouldn't record it in language that I speak. I recorded it in Russian, and now after making thesis film about language, I realized that no, I should still change language, and now I switched it to Ukrainian.
We were speaking about how this was an assignment that you were given to do like a personal documentary. So what was the assignment basically, and what freedoms or limitations were given to you by your degree, so the documentary masters?
So the third semester, the semester that we made this film in, it was focused on personal documentaries, and what it meant was we had to make a film. Before this, we had a character that we were following, or a situation or an event that we were observing, we were just recording. But this time the camera faced us, you know, like that was the foundation. And from there, we could go anywhere actually. It didn't really have to be that we had to be in the frame. We could make film of an object, but it had to be something that was completely related to the filmmaker himself or herself. So that was a few guidelines, but it was very free from there on. Yeah.
Also, we had to work with editors first time. Before we used to do everything by ourselves: cinematography, editing, I don't know, even sound recording sometimes. And this time it was first experience of working with editors. Every student had their own editor, and it was quite hard because first time of working with editor, and it's your own personal project, how to communicate about it with strangers that you meet first time. But I was lucky, I met very good editor who was very interested in my project, and it was also easy to communicate with him. He asked me a lot of questions just to get deep inside of me, to understand what is happening in my head, and then go to editing and do something.
I think so. In general, regarding the masters also, so that experience that you just described and the other experiences, I mean, I think as audience we have very limited imagination of what documentary could be. So seeing that it could be something personal, it could be something that is following a certain person, or, you know, it could be many things. Do you think that is something that you will take with you to the future? Is it something that you want to continue working on, or kind of, yeah, what does the future hold for you?
I think personally for me, this third semester films really resonated very much. And I agree with you, the term documentary itself is, I think, a little too cliched at times, but our course, I think, it really helped me expand my view on what a film can be, and this classification of film into documentary, fiction, I think it doesn't have to be that way. I think that's one thing that I've really taken into myself, that, you know, like, there doesn't need to be borders, strict borders. And this personal film was, I think, this perfect point from where I can really take off, you know, like, everything is here. Like, you can bring fiction, non-fiction, documentary, like reenactments, like in this film, for example. And it's really lovely, yeah.
For me, I think it's definitely first step towards my goal to make films about daydreaming. So yeah, I think this experience, of course, very useful for me, just to see how does this topic resonate with others.
That's actually quite cool. So that could be kind of a first installment of a series. Yeah. Interesting. So more of a kind of general question is, do you guys have any advice for anybody who's considering going into the documentary masters?
If you're looking for a very hardline documentary filmmaking, maybe it's not the right thing, because how do I say it? It's like our professor said it, you know, like it's a very boutique course, in a sense that I loved the term, because how do I put it? Like, it's not a very concrete documentary course, but at the same time, it's not too avant-garde, but it's somewhere in the middle, you know, like we value art above, let's say, truth, in a way, if I can say it, yeah. Truth is not something that is at the core of our course, in a way. It's more about expression. It's more about experiment. And I think if a student or someone who is looking for that kind of a genre, and it's everywhere right now, I mean, it's very popular also, I think. So then the course is really nice in that way. And it's in BFM, so you get to like interact with different streams. Like, we worked with editor from the film arts course, and we are working with sound designers in this, and we are here with cross media, so it's everywhere, yeah.
All right, thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. I had a lovely time speaking with you. I wish you all the best with this project and all of your next projects. And yes, I think before we wrap up, let's watch a short BTS clip from the filming. There we have it. I thoroughly enjoyed speaking with Katerina and Pranav about Daydreaming today. To learn more about different projects, check out the other interviews from the thick of it, and to discover the various programs within BFM, make sure to visit the Tallinn University website. Who knows, maybe you'll be the next one speaking about your project. Keep your eyes out for the upcoming Bob Gala already on June 13th. You can catch it on Tallinn University YouTube channel. I was your host, Sonia, and thank you for joining me today.